That's how you know we're getting late into it, getting to one of my favorite times of the year, the postseason. So without further ado, Mike Leonfelter, Randall Gardner.
All right, past week highlights. We talked about Tuesday night. Fisher's Brebuff. Fisher's handled them in straights.
Yeah, Brebuff is a team that we thought really had a legitimate shot at 3A, and I think they still do. Fisher's is better than what people think. And Mallory Hernandez is in a rhythm. They're good. They got a great little right side, as well a set team as there is in the state. Fisher's coming to life at the right time of the year. Yep. It's a good win over a good team. Brebuff's a good team.
Yep. We got a ton of games on Thursday night. First one we talked about, Yorktown versus Newcastle for the conference championship. Newcastle ended up taking it 4.
Yeah, well, that was an interesting match. Newcastle is a tough matchup for Yorktown because of the physicality of the net, in particular Mel and Mabry Schaffmaster. The other end of that equation is no Bella Rosenthal. A week ago I made a reference on this show that the real key to doing well in the postseason is staying healthy. Yep. And I made reference to luck, and I made reference to if guys are going to get hurt, they got to get hurt at the right time of the season. But a lot of this has to do with good fortune, and one of the things that hurt Yorktown in that match with Newcastle is no Bella Rosenthal. Kate Benson, very good young setter, but the tempo at which Bella Rosenthal was setting the ball was really unmatched. Yep. And that's going to be hard to duplicate for a young setter. A great win for Newcastle. It would have been interesting to see him go, full team versus full team, but tremendous win for Newcastle. They win the conference, and I'm sure that that's only going to serve as inspiration for Newcastle as they move into the Wapahani Delta sectional. It'll also light a fire under a Yorktown group that is not used to losing.
Yep. We talked about Michigan City Marquette and Crown Point. Last little fight for Crown Point before the state tournament, and they won 4.
And we said 4.
Yep.
Crown Point is the class of the North, yep. And I'm really anxious to get into the state tournament play and make sure there's no hiccups. Chacon is going to give them a 6 rotation get-out kid, enough pieces around that are physical and good. Crown Point will be a team that we'll be talking about late in the season. So as we get further into this broadcast, the next couple of weeks, you're going to continually hear Crown Point. Remember, it gets whittled down quickly. Yep. Crown Point will be there at the end.
Yep. We talked about Zionsville head to Avon on senior night. Zionsville picked up the win.
Monster win. We did not call this one. Garrard first goings in a classic setter showdown. Johnson and Eisenbarger. Really a neat matchup. Very good matchup. And, somebody made one less mistake than the other. I don't know, 15-13 in the 5th. Zionsville, a monster win for confidence moving in. They needed to know that they could conquer the big guys, and they did it. Avon, maybe a little bit of a wake-up call heading in, and both are needed. Really at this time of year, it's really interesting is how you handle wins and how you handle defeats that are critical. Yep. And I think if they're handled properly, it could be a major boost for Zionsville, a major boost for Avon, and they can very well see each other again real soon.
Definitely. We talked about HSC McCutcheon. Really doing a good job early in the year. We thought they could be a team to be watching for. Gave everything they could to HSC, lost them 5.
McCutcheon's an up-and-coming program.
NCC champions this past weekend.
Yeah, they're good. They're really good, and they got some good young players. And McCutcheon, you're going to hear about a little bit more next year. I don't think much more this year, but I think they're very, very good. I think they're going to be in that lines of Fishers, Zionsville, and Noblesville, teams we've talked about in the past that have started to really upgrade and develop. And McCutcheon's solid. HSE, on the other hand, is now quietly won about 20 of their last 21 matches and has put together a pretty impressive run. I know. But they're really on. They're playing very, very, very good volleyball. Have an incredible showdown coming up with their next-door neighbors, and that'll be interesting.
It will be. And then, you talk about McCutcheon. I don't know if you knew they're in Zionsville sectional as well, so that's going to be a heck of a
it'll be fun. We'll talk about that. We'll talk.
Yeah. Saturday night, we wanted to finish up the season the right way. Center Grove versus Yorktown, and Yorktown swept Center Grove.
Well, Center Grove's got one of the best setters in the state. I'm not sure. I'd say in the country. MJ Hamill is really, really gifted. Did not play. Sprained her ankle. Yorktown has the most underrated setter, possibly in the state, maybe in the country, in a little bro turn setter in Bella Rosenthal. Did not play. Got injured, broke a bone in her foot in the county championships. Yorktown, little better. The backup setter at Yorktown, Vincent, did a nice job. And Yorktown's got a lot of pieces. It's an easier team to set as a backup. Yorktown would be a great team to set if you're a backup because all the pieces are in there. It's like when Jim Sorgi with the Colts. Jim Sorgi could walk in because you had Wayne and Harris and Edger and James. You had all of the pieces around you, and all you had to do is just
don't screw it up.
Don't screw it up. And they did. That's exactly what I thought would happen. I thought it would be that way because they're so good at taking care of the ball. Best team in the state take care of the ball, bar none. Yeah. And they sweep out a good Center Grove. Now, I'd like to see them with both setters live. And then maybe we'll get that. Yeah.
Raymond James, Player of the Week, talking with Center Grove. The senior out there, Emma Jones, she's going off to play college. I think she's at UMND. She has 194 blocks in the season. She has 5 matches where she was 10 plus. She leads the state.
Well, 194 blocks. We've talked about this. Is really an impressive stat. She's a very good player on a very, very good team that plays a very, very good schedule. So that stat, those numbers are real for one. A great coach, Harbison, does a great job coaching these guys. The other thing is that 194 blocks on the year. I mean, she's active.
Yeah.
That's a great get for jumping Jason Reed. That's a really good get. And Emma Jones is a big time player. Congrats, Emma, and good luck in sections.
Yeah, we're gonna get to Lazy Boy games of the week, but it's gonna be the sectionals of the week, kind of to watch. We'll let you guys know when we're gonna go to those. But first, we're gonna talk about sectionals to watch in 1A. So we're a little sectional show now. Sectional 63, Bar Reeves gonna be hosting it. They have a possible final. That would be possibly Bar Reeves and Lagodi.
Bar Reeves and Lagodi every year since the dawn of time. I think there were dinosaurs on the earth, and T-Rex ran through the court, and Bar Reeve and Lagodi served it up. Bar Reeve and Lagodi every single year, they seem to match up. Bar Reeve is a perennial powerhouse in 1A. It bounced around a little bit. Lagodi, their claim to fame is that David Jack, the Jamaican Wonder, runs their summer camp. With that being said, you got to give Lagodi a little love.
And their host is Bar Reeves, so that'd be interesting as well, just because they'll have home court heading into the final. Sectional 55, Cowan will be hosting it Thursday night. We'll show down the Delaware County teams, Westdale Cowan, and it sets up for a semifinal of that winner versus Delville.
Those are the best 3 teams. Yeah. It's really weird. Cowan has had a couple kids exit. Westdale has been really quiet, and all they've done is quietly take care of business. Delville would have been the hands-down favorite if Lindsay Ingenito doesn't get hurt and go down with a broken foot. Right now, if we're looking at Westdale, maybe in the best shape of those 3 teams to win. But that should be a great section.
Yep. Then you got sectionals watching 2A. Sectional 44. Tuesday night, I thought would be a pretty good one. Covington Christian, Western Boone. That's the opening night. And it looks like whoever wins that's got a really good shot at going there.
Covenant Christian is all they've done is quietly put together a perfect record. I get questions each week, why are these guys in the top 10? Well, no one else is undefeated. All they've done is win. Their strength of schedule has been questioned. These 2 teams met earlier this year. I don't know if you're aware of it. Western Boone and Covenant Christian met earlier this year. Western Boone lost in 4, and I think there were 9 points that separated the 2 teams. 9 points separated the 2 teams. Covenant Christian obviously winning that match. Western Boone, keep in mind, is a team that's coming down from 3A.
Yep.
So they're the big school mentality. Covenant Christian been on a meteoric rise. They've been flying high. If I was going to call an upset alert, that may be it.
Yep.
That may be it. Western Boone is a very good team. That's a good sectional to watch.
Yep. Sectional 48, we got Evansville out of the down south versus Tell City would be a Saturday semifinal. Both are 25-plus wins.
Yeah.
And
Well,
Evansville's the top having that one.
Yeah, modern day is always 25-plus wins.
Yep.
They've had back in the old days when we talk about Connie Garrett and some of the legends of coaching that are down in that, when Booneville was so good, and there was some great days of volleyball in the South, and Modern Day was one of those teams.
Yeah.
And so Modern Day, that'll be interesting. It's neat to see them both at 25-plus.
Yeah.
That'll be a great sectional to watch.
Yep. Sectional to watch at 3A. This sectional 22 should be a really good one. It's all the Fort Wayne teams, for the most part. But the one match that really stood out for me, I thought, would be the Fort Wayne Leo and Bishop Duanga. That's a Saturday semifinal. They went earlier this season. They went 5.
Yeah.
So, that should be a heck of a match right there.
Leo has, at this time of year, you're looking for stars. Players play. I've always believed it. Players play, winners win, and subsequently losers lose. And so you're going to see some teams that all they've done is lose, and they'll continue to. But at this time of the year, you need to have a star. Leo has a star. Leo has a kid that's going to be a big banger. She's heading to the ACC at the University of Louisville. This should be a great match. Dwinger has been in our top 10 for a while, but don't be shocked if Leo pulls a miracle out of this one. Leo right now, I like the Western Boone Covenant Christian upset alert. I like Leo and Dwinger as an upset alert as well.
And another thing is, Dwenger was at home when they played earlier in the year, and this year now they're on the road.
Up in Angola, neutral site.
That
That could be a fun one. No, that could be a fun one.
Yep. One of the sectionals we talked about to watch for Lazy Boys. This one everybody's been talking about. Sectional 24. We talked about the start of the year. It's here. 4 teams in the top 10 in 3A. Thursday night, you got a great opening night against Newcastle and the Muncie Burris teams, the 2 top 10 teams. Followed by Saturday morning, the winner of that match, the Newcastle Burris, gets Wappa High. And Delta's on the other side with Jay County and some other guys. So
Delta drew a good straw.
yeah,
That's a great draw. That's a great draw for Delta. Newcastle, Muncie Burris, Thursday night showdown. Newcastle's the better team. Newcastle's is better than Muncie Burris. Just too physical right now. Muncie Burris, one of the most improved teams in the state. Mike Dodrell, Muncie Burris, has done an incredible job. But I believe that the Newcastle guys, still riding high off of that victory over Yorktown, are going to have a little mojo that they didn't have early in the season.
Yeah.
Speaking of mojo, I sit down and I put them together. You look at player for player, team for team, position by position, all the way through. Newcastle Wapahani is a great match. It's almost dead even in a lot of ways. Had Newcastle not beaten Yorktown, kind of regained that energy, that belief, that refuse to lose, that mentality that great teams develop, I would have taken Wapahani easily in this one because of that. Because Wapahani has a swagger. Wapahani has a great swagger to him. It starts with Jared Richardson and goes all the way through Haven Gates, the smallest player on the team. That is going to be a war. I won't even. I'm kind of biased, so I won't make a call on that one. But boy, that's going to be a good game.
I mean, like you talked about, if anybody catches on fire, there's 4 teams that could find a way to take it home Saturday night.
Yeah, and I think that Delta waiting for them. The one thing is that Newcastle's got to go through 3 ranked teams to win that sectional. Yep. Delta has to go through 1 to win that sectional. That's a huge edge for Delta, and that's a great draw.
Yep.
Remember, I said that one of the big things that's important in regards to sectional time and state championship times is luck. There's got to be fate. Has got to be on your side, and part of fate is people getting injured at the right times, good draws, favorable officiating assignments. There's a lot of crazy things that could make or break you at this time of year. that sectional is probably going to deal with those elements.
Oh, yeah.
All of those elements will come into play in that sectional. Delta, waiting on those guys changes the perspective of that and the complexion of that in a hurry.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. I won't, being a former Wapahani guy and having coached almost every kid in that thing, at Burris, Newcastle, Delta, I won't make a call on it. I will tell you this: it will be the best, top to bottom sectional in the state of Indiana.
Yep.
No doubt.
Sectionals to watch in 4A. Talk about Sectional 7. We talked about just a little bit ago. Zionsville-McCutcheon would be the actual final, and it's at McCutcheon's home.
Well, this is where I'm going to get some kickback. Jason Young and the gang will probably blow me up for saying Sectional 24 was the greatest sectional ever. This is really a good sectional. But the difference between good and great is the same as the difference between like and love. 24 is a great sectional. 7 is a very good or Sectional 8 is a good sectional. Sorry, I skipped ahead. Sectional 7, Zionsville-McCutcheon, Zionsville.
Yeah.
There's no upset alert. Even though it's on McCutcheon's home floor, they will come amped up. The Mavs will be rolling fast. Zionsville.
Yeah.
Zionsville rolls there. Zionsville, they've already got people scheduled to come watch them play in the regionals. There's college coaches coming in to watch them play in the regionals. So they just got to go to work. I like it. It's swagger, baby. It's swagger time.
Yeah, it is.
You know how that works.
Sectional 8.
Now we're talking about good and great, love and like, and the whole 9 yards. Sectional 8 is, in my mind, the second best section. It is a great sectional, and it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Stephen Hawthorne hosting. How about that? The big cat hosting. I like it.
Yes. Thursday night, you got a couple great games to start us off. HSC Fishers, the rival of the area.
You got to love hate.
Yeah.
You got to love hate. Alabama, Auburn, Louisville, Kentucky, Ohio State, Michigan, HSC Fishers. Fishers, I believe 2-0 against them this year.
Yeah.
Wow. Choked me up a little there, Jason. Fishers, 2-0. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Very, very, very hard to beat a good team 3 times in one season. It is very, very hard. And so if you're out there thinking right away he's taking HSE, I watched Yorktown do it for the last century over Delta 3 times in one season. I watched Yorktown beat Wapahani 3 times this season. Yeah, I know that hurts the little Whoppers. HSE Fishers, wow. That's going to be a war. That game is going to come down to, can HSE put enough service pressure on Fishers to keep them out of system? In the middle of the court, I like HSE's matchup. On the pins, the left and right pin in particular in 3 rotations, I like where Fishers sits. Jason Young and the Argonauts are going to have to send people, they're going to have to serve them off the net. If they're allowed to run a system, Rose Duffy will systematically pick them apart going from pin to pin. Understand it's a lot easier to defend in narrow spaces, but if she can spread the court out, they're in trouble. The only way she can spread the court is if Fishers passes the ball. If Fishers passes, they move on. If HSE serves the tar out of it, they celebrate the most meaningful win of the year. You'll forget those other 2 losses if you get the one that matters.
Then you got Carmel and Nobles for the same night.
Carmel playing all of a sudden. I saw
the box rolling. They're ready to roll.
Yeah, these guys are bringing back the old boom box. It's kind of 1975. I like it. They got the guys carrying boom boxes in and rerunning the gang are running around doing their little dance moves. And I will tell you what, a much more confident, a much more comfortable Carmel team. Mo Armstrong and those guys, Sophie Alpine, got them going in the right direction. They just won the Carmel Invitational. They're as hot and as eager as they've been all year long. Remember, they started the season in our top 10.
Yep.
Noblesville's had a very up and down season. A lot of injuries, a lot of freak injuries. In a lot of ways, it's a group of guys that are really not really thrilled with the product they put on the floor yet. And yet is a beautiful word, meaning it just hasn't happened. But yet is critical to these guys because these guys, if they can put it all together, if they can draw together as a team and come up with some common synergy, and play with a cause. Not play separate, but play as a cause. I can't hurt you hitting you with individual fingers. I can hurt you when I ball it up. And if they can come together and do some things, I think that's key. In volleyball or in life, wherever the focus goes, the energy flows. And so for Noblesville, if their focus can be on the positive, on the team, on this destination, we're going to win our last game, then a lot of energy is going to go that way, and Noblesville is going to be good. A lot of this match comes down to the attitude Noblesville enters with.
And then the winner of those two matches will be the semifinal game. The other side will have Westfield and Anderson.
Yeah, I like HSE or Fishers to win that sectional. But I think I love the fact that they're going to have to go through each other. I think that, you might as well play the big dogs right out of the gate. And all four big dogs
worked well
for each other. It did work well.
All right, we'll go ahead. There's one other section I want to talk about since those two are in the north of the 4A. And 4As are so deep. I wanted to hit sectional 15. Really has came a long ways. Now it's got the host is New Albany. Thursday night's got Providence and New Albany. Winner gets Floyd Central in the semifinal.
I think Providence is too much for New Albany, and with all due respect, John Breeding is a guy that even when I was coaching in college, I've known the guy for 25 years, to almost 30 years. Really one of the class acts, great guy, just a great guy. He's dedicated most of his life to volleyball. I think this will be his bow out. His curtain call, he'll exit stage left. The flip-flops will be retired for life, and John Breeding will leave an amazing legacy at New Albany. It won't be on Worthing, though. It'll be on his home floor, which is fitting. But the Providence team is too strong for New Albany. Providence and Floyd Central will be very, very fun to watch. A lot of totally different teams. Providence, very fine-tuned, very fast, very methodical in how they go about it. Floyd Central, very athletic, very emotional. They're very much Bart Powell. I like what's going on. That should be a great matchup. Floyd Central guys just got to be thankful it's not at Providence because of that crowd, but that crowd will come to New Albany, trust me. That'll be a fun matchup.
All right, the final here, Munciana.com top 10 before the state rankings. We'll finish it up in the year after we finish it all up and go with our final top 10. But we'll go ahead and hit our honorable mentions.
The top 10 has gotten a lot of appreciation this year, a lot of love, a lot of people giving us some feedback. Always positive. I'm sure it's always positive. I always appreciate feedback. Honorable mention, the three teams I like is honorable mention teams. Newcastle, the victory over Yorktown. Even though Yorktown didn't have Bella, they still have great players. There's 4 or 5 kids on that team who are still there that are Division I kids. So Newcastle with a great victory there, and they've got a great matchup coming with WAP and all those guys this week. But Newcastle's an honorable mention. Fort Wayne Leo, 24-2. Other than Dwenger, they've ruled Fort Wayne. It's been really a resurgence for that program. That program is well coached and they play at a high level. At 24-2, they're on my honorable mention list. And then last but not least, Hamilton Southeastern did not make the final top 10 of the year. This should really, I think that I would put this, I would take this broadcast, I would send this little snippet to every kid on my team. Am I saying that HSE is not worthy? HSE can win the state championship. They just got to decide that's what they want to do. But in the top 10, not making that move to this week, and I hope that is pinned straight up on a bulletin board or a blackboard somewhere. And best of luck to all 3 of those teams. All 3 teams that are capable will be in the top 10. All 3 of those teams are capable of winning the state championship.
Yeah. And if HSC does that, then they'll be right there.
Yeah, right there.
Number 1.
Right there. And if HSC does that, I'll take out their coach for a steak. And everything's under the bridge, and we're just smooth.
Yeah. All right, number 10.
Dwenger. All they're doing is winning. That's why it's so hard to move guys out of the top 10. They're just not losing. Dwenger, was at 10 last week. It stays at 10 this week. You know, they beat Blackhawk Christian, who's always good and has a shot at being in the state championships. They beat Fort Wayne Concordia, who is Trish Miller's a very, very good coach.
It could be in HSC Yorktown Regional.
They could be.
Yep.
They very well could be. Always there. They're always there. That's a good week for them. 28-1. They're riding high too, man.
Yep.
These cats are feeling good about themselves, but don't look past Leo.
Yep. All right, number 9.
Dropping a couple slots. Is Covenant Christian. Covenant Christian, 29-0. Beat Gary Catholic Tri-West. By and large, that's the reason that they're dropping a little, is that their strength of schedule doesn't quite match up with the rest of these guys. But the one thing they've got for them is they know how to win. I said earlier, players play, winners win. Covenant Christian has obviously got players in there, obviously winning. Don't look past Western Boone. These two guys at the bottom of this top 10 are my 2 upset specials. Those are my upsets alert. Be ready to play. If you look past Western Boone, you'll end up in an incredible season at 29-1. And the only one you will remember is 1. Make sure that you stay focused, because really you want to win your last one, not lose your last one.
Yep. All right, number 8.
We moved them up. They lost to this week, but Wapani's good. You know, Wapani, we said earlier in the show, had lost 3 times to Yorktown, but all 3 times they gave them a run and had their chances.
Uh-huh.
You know, I'm always kind of on WAP because of, you know, I wish they would bite. I wish they would take on every big boy. You know, I want to play against Penn State, Nebraska. You know, that's not real. And that's just my personal approach to things. But I will tell you, this was a pretty good week for them. I mean, you know, they play a good Tate's Creek team. They play a good Western Boone team. They play a good Columbus East team. They play a great Avon team. They lost to a great Avon team in Straits. But this is a good year. And I tell you, Wapahani season is going to be really going to come down to Wapahani will make the state championship. You heard it here first. Will make the state championship if they win their section. That's it.
Yep.
I'm going to give them the regional. I'm going to give them simple. The rest of the game, go.
Yep.
Go. Do not pass go straight to Worthing.
Whoever comes out of that.
Yes, I do believe that, and I think that WAP's going to have to go through Newcastle and Delta to do it. If they do that, kudos to them. The 8th ranked team this week.
Yep. All right, number 7.
Center Grove, they lost to Yorktown, but they also have lost their setter, who's going to be healthy by the time sectionals come. Very good coaching. You know, like I said, you just want to win your last one. You know, the Yorktown match is very meaningful because it's Yorktown. Everybody, if Yorktown is their Super Bowl, and that's by virtue of Yorktown being who they are. They've been a dominant team over the last 10 years, and so it's their Super Bowl. And, you know, I get it, but I think that it was a very smart move to sit MJM. This team is loaded. You were just talking about Emma Jones earlier in the show.
Yep.
This team is loaded, and they are dangerous. If they get healthy, that's the if. If they get healthy, they can win a state championship. Not saying they will, but they can.
All right, number 6.
Fishers moving way up. Probably the highest Fishers has ever been ranked in our polls, I think. You know, 24-3. They beat a good Brebeuf team. You know, Brian Murray does a wonderful job. And a good Westfield team, a solid Westfield team that Michelle Mapes is still trying to get to figure it out. And they're young. But Fishers just is physical. Fishers has pieces. Like I said earlier, they are very dangerous on the pins, and Duffy can spread you out. You know, Rose Duffy is an intelligent a setter as there is in the state of Indiana. She's very bright, and she's very, very clean, meaning she can put the ball in there. When you're talking setters, accuracy is critical. Anticipation and awareness are the other 2 things you're looking for in your setter. Anticipation is trying to get a feel for where we're at. You know, who's going to match up on who. Awareness is the situation in the game. Where are we at in the game? You know, do I need is this a must score point, or is this a point where I can get other guys involved? Rose Duffy is as good at understanding the flow as anybody, and she knows how to win championships. She's coming off of a national championship. Fisher's a dangerous team.
Yep, no doubt. All right, number 5.
I love them. If you've watched this show much at all, I really, really, really like this team. Very well coached. You know, they just don't get, a ton of love because they're not in our part of the state, and that's on us. But they are the pride. I said in the first week of the season, they're the pride of the North. Then I went and watched them play an Avon tournament and fell in love with the team. They're big, they're physical, they look like a college team. The Chacon kid is maybe, other than Alex Stumler, as good as pass it, defend it, serve it, block it, hit out of the back row. This kid is real.
Yeah.
And she is dangerous. If she gets on, it gives you somebody that can hurt you in all 6 rotations. Remember, in volleyball, all you got to win is 4 of the 6 rotations to win the set. You got to do that 3 times to win the match. This kid can single-handedly win 4 rotations. That's what Stumler did at Christian Academy. That's what Knuckles did in the state championship against Providence. She gave them somebody that could win 4. Chacon could win 4. This team could win it all. But they're the number 5 team.
Yeah. And we got number 4.
What a great story. It really is. New coach, and Rich Coleman's done a very good job with this team. New coach, 9 kids. Daniels kid is a stud. Eisenbarger's a stud. Gerard is, all she's done is win. And I keep telling you, you want to have a coach who's been there. Coleman's won a state championship at Carmel. You want to have a setter who can run the show. Maybe Gerard can run the show. And you want to have guys playing with purpose. There is no more purpose than 9 seniors that's refusing to say goodnight. This team is maybe the most dangerous team in the state right now because of those reasons. Those are what you have to win a state championship. Coach that knows what's going on, they've been there. A setter that can run the show and dictate what's going on in the flow. And you got to have purpose. They've got all 3.
Yep. All right, number 2. Making it interesting.
I like that. You guys that are really good at math. We went from number 4, Zionsville, to number 2. Couldn't split them up. But I'm going to tell you my first number 2, Avon. Okay, let's go through it again. Scotty McQueen, state champions. He's won it a couple of times. Darian Goins can and will lead the floor. Playing with purpose. You got the Goins sisters playing their last match ever together. That's one. You got older kids, a lot of older kids. You got an Avon team that was really talked about a lot early in the season, a lot of expectation, trying to fulfill their obligation to make everybody right. They got all 3 things. Avon can win a state championship. Yeah. The other number 2, Yorktown. And you're looking and going, why Avon lost? Well, they lost in 5 to Zionsville. Hiccup, they're 28-3. Yorktown, they lost. Why are they still there? Yorktown lost to a really good Newcastle team without maybe one of the most important players in the state, Bella Rosenthal. She is really, really important to this team. After watching them, I was amazed at how she orchestrated the offense. Yorktown, well, let's look at what they've got. They've got everything I want. One of the best coaches in the country, much less state. Great ball handling. They've got guys that are on a mission. They got a purpose, baby. He was yawning on Yorktown. Did you say I said Yorktown? He was yawning. Like he swallowed his face with that yawn. Needs more sleep. Central season, killing the dude. Yorktown. If Bella Rosenthal comes back,
They got that senior leadership.
They got the senior leadership. They may be the team to beat. And here's why. Great coach. Great center. If Rosenthal comes back healthy, great center. The best ball control. We can argue anything else. Everybody in the state can argue with me on anything. I will tell you, their first ball contact skills, the best in the state. I'd match them up with anybody in the country. Anybody in the country, I'm going to go toe to toe. I love their ball control. Purpose. And baby, we don't want to lose.
Yeah.
We just won a state championship last year. These same guys, they were all on the floor. These guys have purpose. This, if Bella Rosenthal comes back, could be the best team in the state, one of the best teams in the country. if she comes back healthy. That's the only reason I'm not going to trumpet anything today.
Yep.
I'm going to wait until our next broadcast to tell you what I think. But I'm telling you, this team is good.
Yep. And number one, first time this season.
Yep, first time this season. And this will get people all jacked up. I can't wait to get the mail. You know, everybody's always on me on Providence. How can you say they're the best fans? Because they are. Because they are. They're the best fans. How can you're always the Terry Perica guy? Because I am. She's a great coach. Steph Bloom, Terry Perica, I got. You know, the last 4 or 5 coaches we talked about they're the best coaches in the air. They're great coaches. Terry Perica does nothing but good things. Horning sisters. Well, what do you want? You got a setter who knows what's going on. You got a setter who can run the floor. You got a coach who's won state championships multiple times. And you got the Horning sisters who don't want to say goodbye to each other. Because at the end of the day, the lights are going to go off. And that will be it. They'll be forever, never play again together. Being a guy who played with his brother, there is nothing greater. Nothing greater. Horning sisters. I like Providence as our number 1 team. Let the sectionals go on, and we will see you next week.